All right. It is Wednesday, midweek, and we are live. And as always, man, looking forward to connecting. And wow, it hasn't even been 48 hours yet. And we have a lot of concerning issues to touch on. And it has a lot to do with the Technocratic Team takeover that's in full effect. And so, as always, as much as I don't enjoy necessarily coming on being that doom and gloom type of guy, and that's not my intention. That's why I've been very specific in saying my approach. I'm going to give you some good news so they can build you up, strengthen you, and encourage you. But then we got to talk about the noise. And unfortunately, the noise are the day-to-day activities that will unfold whether you like it or not, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your spiritual beliefs. These are things that must take place to get humanity to its desired outcome, or to our creator's desired outcome. And along the way, it's going to be very entertaining. So, got lots of things to share. I have buku loads of subject matter. I'm going to skim through the surface, but more importantly, everything is at the rtd.news website for you to, get more of a take on it yourself. I don't want to just read all this, regurgitate all this news just because, it's just that. It's just noise. But I want to definitely be a source of, value in reference to helping people spiritually steer them to what they are called to do, rather than focusing on the unfortunate events that unfold as a part of the natural process. But anyway, good morning. It is a good morning, nevertheless, and I'm excited as always to connect with my people who think like-minded, people who realize what's going on, and people who want the truth, the unadulterated truth. And the real truth comes from the source of truth, Yeshua. But everything else in the meantime is just more distractions, diversion tactics, and everything else. So I got an article. I mentioned it yesterday. I meant to put it out today, but I'm going to put it out this afternoon. And I encourage everybody to just take a look at it and just think beyond your circumstances, think beyond the temporal matters of life, and just think out, look out, eternally speaking, and it'll make more sense to you. But anyway, welcome. For any first-time viewers, if you're new, I don't know where you're coming from, where you're watching from, let me know in the chat. Definitely would love to get to know my people, as well as give you a shout-out. So feel free to drop a comment in the chat, and I will definitely acknowledge that. And thank you for blessing me with your presence. And as always, for those who are new, if you want to subscribe and be a part of the community, I encourage you to do so. Click the check, the bell, the YouTube button, whatever it is that's in front of you, wherever you're watching this at. And stick around, just because I'm trying to give you everything I can so it'll make sense to you. And then also, for those who find value here and want to be a blessing, monetarily speaking, feel free to do so. Links at the very bottom, rethinkingthedollar.com/donate. And it'll take you to this page here. You can contribute any form and fashion that suits you as a way of being a blessing to the channel. All right, so let's jump into it, man. I want to give you some good news, the resources, and then we'll get into the noise. And as always, I really enjoy sharing the good news, because that is the most exciting part to me of this entire gathering, is to encourage you, charge you spiritually, hopefully get you started on your day with the good news, which is the word of God. Okay, so here we go on the screen. Let's jump into it. I want to get into it. I want to improve on my delivery style and everything else so that you can, get your time situated. Give me a second. I got to bring it up on the screen here. Give me a second here. I got to get it up on the screen, make it bigger so that I can actually see it, or I'll just make my screen bigger. Okay, here we go. All right, so the power of his word, January 22nd. So for Matthew 8:8, it says, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but only say the word. But only say the word. And that's what jumped out to me, that I'm like, man, I got to share this with my people. But only say the word, and my servant will be healed. And so it says here, in this moment, the Roman centurion reveals an incredible truth about the kingdom of God. The word of the king carries ultimate authority. This man, a soldier, understood the power of authority. When he spoke, his soldiers obeyed because of the rank behind his words. Now imagine the authority of Yeshua, the King of Kings. Those words uphold the heavens and the earth. The centurion believed that just one word, one single word from Yeshua could override sickness, distance, and impossibilities. And Jesus marveled at his faith. This is the kingdom in action. The king's word transcends all boundaries. Whether you're facing illness, fear, or uncertainty, remember, his word is alive, sharper than a sword. That's from Hebrews 4:12. If he speaks, everything must obey. Today, ask yourself, are you trusting the authority of his word? Whatever you're believing for, bring it before the king. His word still heals, restores, and brings life. Only say the word, Lord, and I will believe, is the faith statement I'm standing on this morning. Hopefully it is of value to you, and you can stand on that same statement. That is the goal. That is the goal. Okay, so if that being the case, let's just get into some resources. And so as always, I never know who's new, so I got to continue to provide people with options on how to take advantage of things that are available in our world today. And so outside of the natural things that we're going to touch on, which is the noise, we're going to touch on some of the practical things, which are these resources I'm referring to. And then I started off today talking about the spiritual side of things. Those are the three areas of life that we all are part of: the natural, the practical, what you do with that information, and it's all surrounded by the spiritual. Okay, so let's get into some of the practical things. All right, let me get on the screen here. As always, man, it's just a good morning. It's just a good morning. Hope you're having a good day as well. Okay, so as you can see here on the screen, colonialsmedalsgroup.com/RTD. This is a place where you can get information on how to diversify yourself outside of the traditional 60-40 model and actually get physical gold and silver in your possession or in a depository near you through a self-directed IRA. And so as always, I love connecting with Colonials Medals Group and actually speaking with the CEO the next couple of days or so, just because I'm curious to get his thoughts on what's going on. So stay tuned for that, because he drops a large load of wealth and knowledge. And so definitely looking forward to speaking with him. But anyway, so if you guys are interested in finding out more information on the screen here, colonialsmedalsgroup.com/RTD, or give them a call at 1-888-521-2448. So click this link below the video, fill out this form here. You'll get this PDF here. Educate yourself, then ask questions and see if it's something that's viable for you and for yours. Okay, just something a little there for my people. Next, I want to encourage people, if you have not, consider getting a hold of physical gold in the form of the gold backs. And so as always, for those that are interested in taking and purchasing and acquiring, redeeming some of these old notes that are being destroyed in real time, we're going to touch on that in a minute. You can actually get something here that's affordable that everybody can get a hold of, that preserves purchasing power via 24 karat gold notes. Just go to buygoldnotes.com. Links in the description as well, and you can protect yourself. And then lastly here, for those who have an interest perhaps in getting involved in silver directly, this is something that really I'm spending more time on these days, and that's the idea of helping people get physical silver in their possession via the My Silver Team. So My Silver Team here is above my head through the Quicksilver group here, and as you can see on the screen here, this is the format here. The Quicksilver Team is what I am a part of. And so by joining the team here, you get access to a store similar to this, and actually exact same store, where you can share with family and friends and help them get their weight up. And that's a practical way of preserving and protecting everything that you've worked so hard for. And you can get involved in the business directly yourself. And right here, as you can see, you can auto ship up to about 10 ounces. That's the mega package, all the way down to, as it says here, 1 ounce of American Eagle shipped to you directly without any concerns, any worry. And it's just a way of dollar cost averaging it in accordingly. And if you guys want to get started, here's a good option here for you. It is a free, as it says here. Let me get it over my shoulder here. Let me get myself out the way here so it makes more sense. Put myself on the side here. Okay, so you can see what I see. So as you can see here, real quick here, limited one per household, a free 1 gram silver, including an information pack here. And so literally links in the description, fill it out, get your silver. It's free. Just pay for the shipping and handling, get the information. And if you're interested in joining the silver business, it's an opportunity that can be a blessing for you. So, okay, with that out the way, let's get into some of the information, some of the primary subject matter of the day. And it has everything to do with the fact that a lot of people aren't too happy with the technocratic takeover. And, what really concerns me is the fact that a lot of people, too many people, a majority of people wanted to hold on to that slight sliver of hope that this time was going to be different. And when I say this time, I'm talking about the idea that, Donald Trump was going to really live up to his promises. And that's where people don't really think about the type of promises that he's making. The promises that he's making, he is living up to those promises. And those promises are what I consider to be crumbs. Crumbs in the sense that, okay, if you comb through the headlines, you'll see a couple stories that sound like, oh, okay, he's back. He's making progress. He's undoing everything that the previous administration completely, whatever. Biden was successful for what he was instructed to do during his term as president. Whether he was or wasn't, who cares at this point? He was successful. Successful in the fact that it leads to more of what was a part of the trend already: more debt, debasement, and destruction. Those are the three principles that democracy runs under. And so, at the end of the day, nothing has changed. And let me explain why that is. And then I'll get into more of the subject matter, but I'm trying to lay the foundation here so people can understand that, if you put your hopes in man, you're bound to fail. You're bound to be disappointed severely. But then again, I understand how people need hope. Hope is crucial. And it's just one of them things where I personally, thinking, macro, thinking long-term, thinking eternally. If you think eternally, everything makes sense because there's these little small little headwinds getting us towards a destination. I'm going to always say that because I want people to begin thinking from a spiritual standpoint first and foremost, and everything else will make sense. But, Donald J. Trump came out and he's delivered on some of his promises. Okay, he freed Ross, the Bitcoin guy. He removed us from the World Health Organization, or talked about it. He's, removed us from the Paris Accord and all these things that, clearly he's allowed to do. Everybody answers to somebody. And the reason I say that, if you check the community page, let me share here with you. This is completely off script. This is not what I intended. But then again, since I'm here, I might as well take you there. Let me just share with you, for those who may not know, I don't know, but, whoever may be watching the live streams or replays or whatever, let me share something with you here that might or might not make sense. Okay, so I shared this earlier, and so I want to just, so here we have the Rethinking the Dollar RTDX page. And so I just posted something a minute ago that should hopefully help people understand the bigger picture. Like, so this is what I said. Let me get myself out of the way. It said here, now that more people are questioning the last 48 hours with Trump's Technocratic Team takeover, I thought it would be worth resharing a blog from 2023. And so here, just this image is what I'm talking about here. This image you can see on the screen here, it shows the power pyramid of deception is what I call it. And so I have, at this time, it was 4 political candidates. We were all trying to see who's going to run against Trump. And it's just, you got Robert Kennedy here. You got DeSantis, who appeared to be a viable candidate for the Republican Party, but Trump had it sold up from day one because the guy was campaigning since he lost his last election. So basically, anyway, then you have Biden there. Okay, we all knew that Biden, was the only candidate until they dropped him. Okay, whatever. So that stuff is in the past. Let's get out the past. But this pyramid here gives you a bigger viewpoint of what I call the principalities and powers at play here. This is the presidential puppets that, just if people will be willing to accept that and not, be offended by things that contradict their narratives or their own paradigms, like realize we're going through a paradigm shift, whether you want to or not. And so it's either you be an active participant in it and be proactive in getting information that can help you reshape your paradigm the way that you want it to be shaped, or the media will do it for you. And so my goal here is to help you see the alternative perspective so you can see and ask some serious questions here, because we got a lot of questions to ask. And the answers are obvious to me, but hopefully they become obvious to you. Okay, what am I talking about? So this pyramid here, you can probably find this throughout the internet, but it's low key. But one thing that's important is that it gives you the power structure of the principles and the powers that be. And the presidents are literally they're like, they're puppets. They're like right here, like this. So this article is called "Presidential Puppets: A Skeptical Analysis of Power, Compromise, and what else I call this? And processes, I think. So anyway, reason I highlight this is just because everything is still in play, regardless of the administration. Just if you are willing to accept that, then everything else that will come in the future won't be surprising. And my point is, study all the institutions that are above here, and it'll give you more of an understanding. And I chopped off the very peak of the pyramid because a lot of people don't want to go that way. And that's where I say everything goes back to the spiritual side of things. And that has to do a lot with the article I'm about to put out now, so you can get a better understanding. Okay. So this is off the cuff. Forgive me. You know what I'm saying? Forgive me. I you know what I'm saying? I just had to get that out. But for those who are here, you know, so far, hopefully you're feeling something, because I'm about to give you more. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that check mark, like this, drop a comment in the if you're watching replay, or drop something in the chat real quick. And, you know, before I do that, let me acknowledge a couple people as I promised. We got Vutran Dam checking in. We got Jeff says, greetings from sunny Bradenton, Florida. Jeff, you got snow down there? No. I guess if it's sunny, it may not have no snow. Monkey More Business, appreciate you. It's a little chilly today. Barely getting out, about 40 degrees. Okay, 40 degrees in Florida. Okay. So I'm seeing pictures of snow and everything else down there. You guys are doing your thing. Did you notice Trump's son doing Illuminati hand sign at the smash and grab? More monkey bits. Talked about that yesterday. You're rambling. Ruben, I gotta ramble because there's nuggets of information in those rambles. Trust me. Okay, let's get into the nuts and bolts then. Let's get into the nuts and bolts. This is what you guys come from. And then once again, now that I think about it, let me share something with you. This is my theme song.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Is this not why you're here? To be entertained, hopefully educated. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it. So all the information I'm going to share with you can be found at rtd.news. Type it into your URL to take you right here, and you'll be able to get the same information. All right, let's jump into it. Okay, so, man, there's just a lot of interesting things. And so I'm going to start off with the very first article here that you may or may not seen, but it says Donald Trump backing that. I got to be careful. See, that's why on YouTube I got to be careful. So that's why I'm going to blow up on the screen so you guys can see what I see. But it says Donald Trump backing certain letters and certain processes. Project gets backlash. So let's look at it. And it says here, let me minimize myself. I'm sure you guys don't want to just see me on the screen. It says Donald Trump backing certain letters and certain processes. Projects gets backlash. It says a number of Donald Trump supporters and health skeptics. See, I substitute that word because I know this information will be used against me in future videos as they strike me or delete me. Skeptics have criticized President Trump after talked up multi-billion-dollar artificial intelligence infrastructure project. Man, that is a mouthful. Artificial intelligence infrastructure project, which was suggested could help develop more medical procedures for your health. As you can see what that says there. And so once again, if you're surprised, shame on you. It says why this matters. When it comes to medical procedures, Trump has appeared to find himself between a rock and a hard place. He has faced frequent backlash from his own supporters for expressing support for the health situation with the world all experienced 4 years ago, especially when he praised, and this is what I got, man, Operation Warp Speed. When we look back in history books for what Trump's intended role will be viewed from a swamp viewpoint, his greatest accomplishment will be this word on the screen here. Mark my words, mark my words. And I've done videos on it before, of which I've got deleted, or they got deleted. Literally, they got deleted, like demonetized. It's amazing. So got to be careful with my words, but you guys see what I see. Initiative he launched during the health situation, which accelerated the medical deployment, and yet he recently nominated Robert F. Kennedy, a skeptic, to lead the government's health agencies. Okay, so I'll stop right there. So you guys know all that part. Okay, point in case is when you get a mainstream story coming out saying backlash based upon, this procedure stuff here, you gotta wonder, like, what's going on here? Oh, if you're surprised, it's your fault. And then the next article here, it says here, let me get this next one. Trump taps OpenAI Oracle for $500 billion Stargate AI infrastructure project. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's get into it. $500 billion is a lot of funds, especially when our nation's in debt at 36 trillion and counting, deficit spending at close to 2 trillion, interest payments on the debt about 1.3, and Doge is supposed to cut into that sum, and he's already coming out swinging, talking about investing. When the government says they're investing, government produces nothing, adds no value to humanity, but they always find a way to use taxpayer dollars in theory, because they don't know, because the revenue the government receives is going to shrink severely as people are laid off as a result of these type of things here. There'll be no revenue. So they're creating this stuff out of thin air. But once again, it is what it is. Okay, so this is just some more interesting information. So this is the mainstream headlines, and I'll give you some contrarian, some alternative stuff here. It says President Donald Trump is set to announce a new artificial program on Tuesday that will see the United States government team up with OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and tech-fused Japanese conglomerate with investments that could balloon to as much as $500 billion. So here's another term. Here's another word to consider. When you see the words United States government teaming up, doesn't that ring a bell for some? First thing came in my mind was private-public partnerships. Where have you heard that before? Global reset terminology, build back better type terminology. All those words are encompassed in the global reset that we're in now, that we're in the midst of. So once again, my theory, my hypothesis is that by the end of Trump's term, we will be in full swing of a new order. I got to be careful on words, because literally this is how serious this is now. I'm aware of this. Every word that comes out of my mouth is being monitored by the algorithms and the AI that is improving and will improve even more as a result of stuff like this. And so literally the surveillance state is about to get a $500 billion investment. And Stargate AI, let me tell you about Stargate AI. It will be utilized by the government, created and orchestrated and controlled in collaboration with the CIA and NSA and all those entities to act as a global surveillance tool that will enslave humanity beyond what we're already enslaved. So can you say living in the Matrix? Can you say the Truman Show? That's what we're already in. It's about to ramp up with the surveillance that's coming. But then again, this is how America will be great again. You know what I'm saying? Like, just listen. Okay. So I'm not going to bore you with that one. But let's get to some other stuff. So here's some other things worth touching on, and let me put it in order. So I was wondering initially when I saw the world's richest billionaires at the center of Trump's inauguration, you got Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, you got all these guys that were smiling and laughing. They got the call before Trump was announced, before this day, to say, hey, come on in, hit center stage with me. You know, you're my technocratic team that will help me accomplish my goal of making America great again. And so these guys knew that they were about to be given the responsibility of the surveillance state. And so you got all these individuals here on the stage have partnerships with the government already via CIA, government's endorsements, all the surveillance stuff, servers, networks, software. They're already billionaires because of the government. Trump's about to double down on them. He's about to double down and bet on them a little bit more to come up with this AI-centered future that Klaus Schwab already told us about was necessary and it was coming. So definitely Klaus is a lot happier these days. Uncle Claus. Okay. So it's just, I was wondering, like, why these guys on stage with them, why they so excited? Now we know. What do we know? Okay. Let's get into what we do know. Let me share some other stuff with you here. Project Stargate. Let's look at this Project Stargate. So this is when you just ask a simple question. Here's a question. I copy this from X and I put it here and I pasted it just as you see it on the screen here. Project Stargate, a $500 billion plan to pump AI into every vein of America's infrastructure. And so literally the Technocratic Team takeover is being entrusted with the responsibility of pumping AI into every vein of America's infrastructure. Look at that. Does it not sound like it's very Make America Greatish? But actually, I've coined some few terms. Let me know what you think about them. This is swamptastic news. This is swampism at its finest. This is swap reformations. I got a lot more, but anyway. So anyway, let's just find out what is the definition of all this stuff going on now, and then we can just break it down some more. Okay, so let me give you some key terms based upon it. So this is information grabbed from all these articles, and they summarize it in a way that just makes it easier to understand. Stargate project, a massive 500 investment initiative aimed at developing AI infrastructure across the U.S. So AI infrastructure across the U.S. And the first thing came to mind was a movie with Tom Cruise, where they had predictive linguistic models, the three women, or the two women and the one male in the Tom Cruise movie that I'm drawing a blank of right now. Let me know in the chat if you remember that movie. But they were able to predict crime before crime hit. And so I can't think of the movie. Anyway, it'll come to me, or let me know in the chat if you guys know. But you get my drift. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. So, and I always say this: everything that we are being told have been played in movies before. They were just telling us the future that they envisioned for us, and we ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, so let's get to some of the key details here. It says here: investment, initial 100 billion, expanding to 500 billion over 4 years. So literally over Trump's 4-year term, he's planning on coughing up 500 billion total. $500 billion going to AI, which is software and servers and everything else. And there's already a threat and a concern of AGI, artificial general intelligence, AI, or software or large language models being given self-sufficiency, where they can basically unplug from the human side of things and focus on their own internal development, creating some type of life form, and that being a problem. And they're about to give OpenAI more currency to develop stuff like this. So literally, so I can tell you what it all looks like if you want to hear it. But simply, a self-programming, self-auditing, artificial intelligence model software, ultimately controlled by the government in collaboration with the biggest billionaires of the world, basically putting an overarching bubble on humanity that sees, hears everything, even your thoughts, your dreams, and everything. This is the world that they envision for your safety. This is how America will be great. Again, I guess. Okay. I'm ranting too much, but I'm just trying to be very detailed and specific with my points. It says location, first data center in Texas with plans to expand nationwide. So within the great state of Texas, they're going to have the headquarters. And then it says job creation, estimated to generate 100,000 jobs, 100,000 jobs. It's very small given a population of 300 million. Okay. Partners, key partners, SoftBank SoftBank is for financial responsibility, so they're going to be entrusted with the funds, as it looks like. OpenAI is for operational responsibility, meaning that their software, their AGI, just Google Altman AGI concerns, and you'll come up with all types of stuff that he's concerned about. And so Oracle, Microsoft, and ARM will be the hardware providers. They're building out the tech. So OpenAI is providing the brains. Oracle, Microsoft, and NVIDIA, and ARM are providing the hardware. Project Goals aims to secure American leadership in AI technology, create hundreds of thousands of jobs, generate significant economic benefits globally. It definitely will, make things a lot cheaper. Like, it's deflationary in nature, so therefore things should get cheaper because they're going to need that when this cashless society is brought in and labor is restructured to where people won't work and have anything to offer the world, because once again, we're in a consumption and a service-based community or labor market, where if AI comes in and takes over service jobs, then it's going to be millions of people displaced, disrupted, going to need to do new things. So life will get cheaper in that regard, because we'll have UBI by then with the digital ID to log in to get access to your monthly allotments. You get the drift. support the reindustrialization of the United States, provide strategic capabilities for national security. Infrastructure development. The project focuses on building data centers necessary. Public context. Donald Trump has positioned his project as a major achievement for his administration, describing it as the largest AI infrastructure project by far in world history. Well, duh. AI in this context has never been used in humanity before. Just like those health situations that we encountered wasn't never used before as well. So already he's taking credit for something that I would consider a threat to humanity, but it's being sold as advancements to human civilization. You let me know what you think. Okay, if you want to see more of this, there's a lot more. You can actually access this the exact same prompt, and it's at that link. Okay, so that's just that. Okay, but let's get into some of the things that concern the most people. So Donald Trump ran on transparency and everything else, and a part of building his fan base was to bring on JFK. But as of now, as a result of all this stuff, I think he's gone silent or not active as much. So I wonder what his thoughts are on the health procedures that are being positioned. So here's an article. Trump transition team sidelines 2 medical concerned truth tellers after meeting with Bill Gates. So mind you, Bill Gates came to the White House a week ago, or came to Mar-a-Lago last week, and Bill Gates left the meeting and he was ecstatic. He was like, we had some great discussions and I'm excited for this administration. So when Bill Gates tell you that he's excited for this administration, they definitely had some good discussions about you. And so here, this is from Personal Blog, but it says here, after meeting with Bill Gates, Trump transition team sidelines 2 key figures disclosing their medical information truth. So it says here, 2 advisors, RFK Jr., were removed from the Trump transition team over their anti-medical procedure viewpoints. Bill Gates had previously pressured Trump in his first term to abandon plans for the Medical Safety Commission, influencing the administration's approach to the medical situation. Bill Gates recently met with Trump again, was pleased with the meeting. Internal intentions with the Trump transition team reveal efforts to limit Kennedy's influence and align health policy that promote the whole medical stuff. So between Robert F.K. being, I guess, pressed out now because Trump won his crowd over, so RFK is no longer really needed. And then the other one might be Rumsrami. Stephanie Spear and Aaron Siri, known for telling truth about medical situations and failures, were reportedly removed from their advisory roles due to their controversial views, signaling a broader effort to align health policy with mainstream conservative priorities that promote medical procedures as the holy grail of science. So Stephanie Spear and Aaron Siri, I don't know who they are. But for the sake of finding out more about these individuals, let me just find out who they are. Perhaps you guys may know, I don't, but to get a chance to educate myself, give me 1 second here. Let's find out who they are, and we can go from there. Okay, so I just looked them up real quick. Okay, what we got here? So this is what we got here based upon the results of a quick search. It says here, Stephanie and Aaron, 2 health skeptics associated with Robert Kennedy, were recently sidelined for their advisory roles in the presidential campaign. Siri, a health concern injury attorney whose law firm has worked extensively with anti-health operations organizations, is no longer advising the transition. Spear, who also anticipated becoming Kennedy's chief of staff, was passed over for the position. So, so once again, you no longer need it. They can be sidelined. Okay. It is what it is. That's part of the job. Okay, let's keep it going. Let me get back to my main page here. And just a couple more headlines here. As always, this information you can go find for yourself on RTD News. So as I mentioned here, let's get it. I want to share with you some concerns that I have based upon what people are saying. People in reference to people I respect, people I value for their truth. Don't necessarily agree all the time, but they give interesting points. And so because I'm a relatively open-minded person, I have to consider multiple sides of stories as a analyst and a journalist. Dr. Jane Ruby has been on point from day one. If you don't follow her, go check her out. She drops nuggets. And she said, I hate to say it, but I told you so. And then she goes back to a tweet of hers from August 14th of 2024, where she said President Trump is already pushing a certain type of medical procedure for cancer after the medical procedure instruments cause the greatest surge in human cancers. And it should concern you that his VP pick, JD Vance, is heavily invested in more pharma technology with his buddy Vivek Ramaswamy. And so she's posted all types of stuff to validate her claim. So she's on point with hers. But she just shows some things here to point out how, they're all working together. There's a great plan over humanity, for humanity, and we're all a part of it. And then it just goes on to give more information and stuff like that. So this is just some things that are concerning to a lot of people. But one thing that really caught my attention was just some of the things that I think would be of interest to you. So let me actually, I want to bring some stuff on the screen here because now I want to get to some things that I bookmarked. And the things I bookmarked happen to be about a lot of concerns and people's responses. So we're going to get into responses real quick because the responses tell a different story. And so let me share my screen so you guys can hear what I'm about to bring up on the screen. So from some of Trump's biggest supporters, this is the word. Let me get it out on the screen here. So let me share with you here. So I'm going to share with you some things here. Oh, actually make it bigger so you guys can see what I see. All right. So let me bear with me here as always, working on the fly. So let me just read a couple things to you so you can see what these. And so the reason I mention these people because I follow them and they're, much bigger than I am on this internet thing. And even they're concerned. So as you can see on the screen here, it says, let me get myself out the way. It says, this is Mary MaGa. So Mary MaGa, 8,000 followers, and the fact she named her name Mary MaGa on here lets me know she's an extremist in reference to her beliefs and her hopes because she was, doing everything she could to help support his campaign. So this is what she says. Trump is making a mistake. And this is where I'm about to be very cynical in this and, but then again, like I said, when I first started off, if you're surprised, it's your fault for not thinking about this from a much more realistic, eternal perspective rather than a short, me wanting to be comfortable. So my point of view is already partially slanted because I'm focusing on the here and now and not the long term. She says Trump is making a mistake. I would counter that and say, no, he's not. Like literally, he's only allowed to do what he's been given permission to do. Anything that's outside of the game plan, automatically you see a contract being canceled. And those 2 attempts on his life, you got to begin to ask yourself, they were a great setup for his fan base to be like, man, they really are afraid of him. They really don't want him in office again. And then the second day, he proposes $500 billion for Stargate to be the first world global spy agency outside of what we already got. Okay. But she says here, my family will not be taking any medical procedures to eliminate cancer. We know Finben and ivermectin work. No effing way will I take another health thing ever. Not good. Dr. Naomi, AI and cancer medical procedures right out the gate. Really? So this is Dr. Naomi. She's 473,000 followers. She's a published author on the Pfizer papers and everything else. And so she's, she's been doing some research. And so she's like, okay, really? And so here is just Donald Trump announcing this. This is another. So like, think about this. When he announced the medical miracle that took place at the warp speed time, I was like, huh? And so this is another category of like what he would probably label as as he mentioned before, a historical monument for our country. Same level of magnitude. And we know how the medical miracle turned out.
World-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books because I think you're going to hear a lot about it. in the future, a new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately.
So watch this. So even listen to that. I hope you guys heard it. I'm thinking like, okay, he's reading off a script that was provided from him by his team. Mind you, we saw his team on the stage with them all laughing and giggling. They're smiling, the billionaires. And so once again, like I mentioned this the other day in a rant, 200 executive orders he's supposed to sign. This guy's almost 80 years old. You think that he thinks like that to where he's that technical and knows that much to where he can do this? No, his advisors, his team, which are the swamp, they're telling him what they think is best. And he's either saying yay or nay. But as of right now, he's on course to be saying a lot of yay than nay. And so just the fact he's reading that script about Stargate, you're going to hear a lot about this and, everything else in between. Like, this is a good, okay, come on now. Like, once you realize this is not his idea, none of this is his idea. This stuff was pre-planned before he even was chosen to be president. You notice I say chosen, not selected. He was chosen. Just like Obama was chosen, just like Biden was chosen, just like every other president before these guys were chosen. Man. And that's where if people think about this from a different perspective. So hopefully, yeah, okay. So yeah, I would make sure hopefully you guys heard. I don't know hopefully you guys heard. Let me know in the chat if you guys actually heard what Trump sharp. Coach Denise, Trump is sharp, all right. He knows exactly what he's doing. And so I was playing the video, and I don't know if you guys actually heard it or not. So let me see here, because I doing some stuff I shouldn't be doing. Let me get myself together here. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, so I got to get myself together. So I'm backwards here. Let me know if you guys heard the audio. Just because as I see something different than what I have on screen here. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that I'm on point here. So let me get myself together. Give me 1 second here. Okay, the audio should be good. No, I should be good with audio. Let me know if you guys can hear me still. Okay, so I should be good. Let me just do this view here. I'll do this view here. No, but I like this view. Okay, so I should be good. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm seeing two different things on my end. Selected may be a better word. We heard you. Okay, good deal, Gene. Appreciate you. Okay, so real quick here. I can go on forever. I'm not. So I bookmarked more things that concern me, and I'll just scroll up and down. So here's another video here from Oracle's Larry Ellison saying citizens will be on their best behavior with an AI surveillance system. So this is from, I think, last year. And so let me real quick here. So all this stuff can be found on on X, but let me real quick. These are just things that I found to be interesting. So let me want to put a little speed to it, but I'm going to play some of the things so you can hear for yourself.
Their best behavior.
The person is getting 500 billion.
We're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And
citizens will be on their best behavior because they're watching and recording every single thing that's going on.
It's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras. It's AI that's looking at the camera. No. You can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's going to be immediately. That's going to be an event.
Everything is instantaneously known.
Alarm's going to go off. It's going to be, and we're going to
Pegasus
have supervision. In other words, every police officer is going to be supervised.
Every police officer supervised
at all times.
All times.
And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will.
Okay, so you hear that. So here's a article that highlights more of what's going on. This is from Jeff Burrick. But billionaire Larry Ellison says a vast AI surveillance system can ensure citizens will be on their best behavior. This is September 15th. So that was from the quote. And so this is just what Jeff said here. It says, to everyone worried about 500 billion, Trump will be stealing from you and creating medical stuff. Don't worry too much. Most of the money will be going to build a Panatocan, 1984 police state that would make George Orwell blush. So that's just Jeff, good old Jeff there. And then Ian Carrol, whoever this person is, has 1 million followers. He says cancels. His thing is, he does a lot of shorts. He says cancel the clothing company. Oh, so he got 1 million followers. He says it's make America healthy again, not make America all AI, all get an AI scan and a health procedure experimented on. Larry Ellison is CIA. This is atrocious, and has no place in the administration. Terminate everything about this right now. So that's my man's. And this is as a result of Larry Ellison.
Once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours. This is the promise of AI and the promise of the future.
That's the promise. You get your own personalized shot. Okay. And then we got Sam Altman, but this gentleman here. So Ben Johnson has 3.3 million followers. He says, CEO, I'm thrilled we got to do this in the U.S. This will be the most important project of this era to create hundreds of thousands of jobs. So here's the selling point. They're selling this hundreds of thousands of jobs is what it's creating. This is how they get buy-in from the people. This is a part of the propaganda. If you read this book, Propaganda, it'll also help open up your mind beyond what you hope for rather than what's practical, what's real. But anyway, the selling point is 100,000 jobs. But then once all this is complete, there'll be no more jobs. So the people who are going to be employed will be the ones setting this up to then take over and lose their jobs by AI, robotics, and everything else that we already know about. And then checkmate. The deep state wins. The global swamp or whatever then has access to everything. Government, public private partnership complete. Klaus Schwab is happy. The Great Reset is complete. This is Agenda 2030. And as of right now, it might be done it might end up being Agenda 2028 at the pace that Trump is on now with trying to get this stuff rolled out. So here is just, more information here. There's more comments here. Here's another person. Anti-whatever supporters, your moment has arrived. Again, the Trump administration is now backing AI-generated medical cancer shots. Are you awake yet, or will you keep pretending you guys is fighting for us? And then here's Hodge twins. These guys here are pretty large. They got 3.2 million followers. Even they're concerned. They were just so pro-MaGa. What does Robert F. Kennedy think about the Stargate program with medical stuff attached to it? So then you have Robert Malone also. And I'm going to end on this one because these words here got me really thinking like, wow, like these some real buzzwords. But Robert Malone's another guy who he's so-so right now, in my opinion. Started off good, but I don't know. He's like an operative too. But anyway, these people have no idea how complicated the immune system is, and they have no understanding of the difficulties facing predictive computational immunology. Think about that word there. When the last time you stated that word? When the last time that word came out of your mouth? Predictive computational immunology. I've never said those three words combined apart from when I read this. And they have no understanding of cancer immunology. This is marketing, propaganda, and hype. And so with that, that's where it all comes to an end. Let me get myself back on the screen here. Is this marketing, propaganda, hype, or is this real deal? Is Trump sincere with everything that he's doing now? And how will all of this unfold? is to be determined. But we will find out, people. So anyway, this is just some noise that's happening. And as always, I start off with some good news just to get people aware of what's going on. And then, we keep it moving. But anyway, just know what we're day 3. So as always, there will be more information being given from the Trump administration today as the swamp continues to advance and the global reset continues to unfold. And so once again, make of it what you may. But anyway, this is just the news for Wednesday. Anyway, hope all is well. Be blessed, be safe as always. For those who might come in late watching the replay, drop a comment, share your thoughts, hit that thumbs up button, like it, share it so more people can find out an alternative perspective so they're not caught off guard and blindsided by the mainstream propaganda and the presidential propaganda that's about to go into hyperdrive real soon. So anyway,